And welcome back to the channel. On today's video, while we do a pedal ride with the Ariel rider Grizzly, I want to talk about customizing a bike to your liking. So let's assume you get to start off fresh and customize your bike from the frame all the way up. I suppose the first thing you'd want to do is to pick the style of bike you like. Pretty hard to pick one style. I like lots of styles, but I guess if I had to pick one, I kind of like the scrambler style, like the one I'm on now, Ariel Rider Grizzly. Although I do not mind the commuter or the beach style cruiser bikes. Those are pretty nice too. But let's say for me, I'm going to pick the scrambler style. So after you pick the style, you probably want your handlebars. What would you like? I kind of like these higher rise ones, so I can sit more upright. I prefer that position rather than, say, cafe style. I wouldn't mind, BMX would be okay as well, that style, handlebar. The wheels, for me, I prefer the fat tires. So I kind of like, of any bike that I've seen, I like the, I must admit, I like the Super 73 20 by 5 inch wheels. Kind of like the fat tires. So I would go for that. And let's see. Motor, that's one of the more important for me. So I want either one motor or two motors, depending on how big if it was one motor, how big the motor is, how much power it has. So let's say I'm buying the Lyric Graffiti, 2500 watt motor peaking at 4700 watts. With that, you only need one motor. But if it's only 1000 watt, personally, I like two motors because on the hills, you really notice it. And we've got a lot of hills here in Oregon, as I'm about to hit one right now. And having that second motor is really a plus. If you don't want to do any extended pedaling, or you want to just get up that hill without, any issues, then the two motor system is exactly what this bike is meant for. It's the perfect bike for that if you need to get up those hills. Unless you've got a powerful motor, like I say, you probably need at least a 2000 watt motor to probably lift you up these hills. But speaking of hills, I'm going to change gears here to get up this one. And I'm in pedal assist 4 right now. I'm keeping my, let's see, there's 5. I'm going to get up this hill. 6, no problem. I could have just used throttle, but this time I thought, since I'm doing a complete pedal ride, I'm just going to stay on pedal assist. I'm going to turn it back down. I was on 1. So for me, it depends on the, like I say, the power of the motor. But if it's 1000 watts, I love the two motor system. So there's that. And then the battery, kind of the same deal. This bike has a 20 amp hour and a 15 amp hour motor, or a battery I should say. And with two motors, obviously, one battery for each. That's perfect. If you have, let's say you have like the 2500 watt motor, for example, one rear hub motor, then I'd probably want a 40 amp hour battery. If it's only going to be one battery, I think I want the battery at least 40 amp hour, and of course the batteries are the most expensive part of your bike, so it's going to cost you a pretty penny if you get a bigger motor, a bigger battery. I'd prefer even more. I'd prefer even a 50 amp hour, but at least a 40 would be nice. This is what I've got here now set up with the two motors. It's a 35 amp hour with two batteries. So that's not bad, but it still doesn't get you that far. Like, I don't think I would trust going more than maybe 30 miles, but boy, that's even pushing it. You know, you better make sure you're not going much more than 30, because that's kind of pushing it right there. A seat, comfortable seat is important, especially if you're going to be riding for a while. If you're doing a 15-minute ride, that's a little different than if you're doing a 90-minute ride. So a seat is important. The seat on this bike isn't too bad. The seat on my other bike, the Rad Rover, is not the greatest. It's let's just call it on the hard side, not comfortable. I mean, it's okay if you're doing a short ride, but boy, if you're doing an hour or an hour and a half ride, you get off there, you're feeling it. Or even you're feeling it even before you get off there. Ow! Speaking of bumps. So since we just hit a bump, another thing for your bike would be suspension. For me, this bike has full suspension. I like the full suspension. I don't know of anybody that wants to feel the bumps, truthfully. So give me a full suspension. Brakes, which I'm using right now. For the brakes, I want hydraulic brakes. I want to be able to stop and have faith in my brakes that they're going to stop me when I need to use them, especially in an emergency basis when you need to kind of slam them on, which I haven't really had happen, but you never know. So brakes are important. Fenders. This may be nitpicking a little bit, but fenders are important for me because here in Oregon we get a lot of rain, and this bike has fenders that are short, and I prefer the longer fenders to cover me completely so I'm not getting splashed. So fenders are a good thing, and also mirrors and signal lights, and I've mentioned this before. I prefer mirrors and signal lights, and that doesn't happen very often where you get those on a bike without putting them on yourself. And then the other thing would be looks. We all want a bike that looks good, right? It's appealing to us. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it kind of is in a way, because you want something nice to look at besides ride. And of course, a nice-looking bike turns heads. People ask a lot of questions about your bike. I get a lot of questions asked about this bike as I almost got smashed by a branch there. And so, I don't know, I like a good looking bike, and the color. Sometimes you're limited. You don't have a choice of color. So that, you just have to kind of, if everything else is good on the bike, then you just take the color. For me, as long as it's not pink, I wouldn't like pink or a cream color too much. Okay, I'm gonna throttle across here when I get a chance. Well, and the other thing would be nice is to test ride it, but boy, that's virtually impossible to test ride a bike. Both bikes that I bought online, so I bought them just by looking at them and just doing my due diligence and watching reviews and all. So anyway, that's just some of the things in coming up with a customized bike. I don't know of too many places that will build you a custom built bike. They will give you some options of battery and such, but I don't think you're ever going to get, I shouldn't say ever because anything is possible, but get one built specifically for you. But those are some of the things that I would like, though, is the most important things would be fat tires, maybe 20 by 5, a 40 amp motor or 40 amp battery. I didn't talk about controller. The controller would be nice to have a 72 volt, but say 52 volt, 50 amp, that would be nice. And then the motors, either one 2500 watts, say, in the rear, or dual 1000 watt, which this is. That'll get you lots of power to get up and down up hills, not down them. Down them's easy. But that's just some of the things that you might be looking for if you're customizing a bike. Hey, let me know what you'd like to see on your customized bike. How would you make yours up? So I'm going to go quickly one more time. I'm going to go with a 40 amp hour battery. I'm going to go with a 2500 watt rear hub motor, 20 by 5 tires, a 50 amp controller, similar handlebars to this, a nice comfortable seat and also a full suspension. There you go, and hydraulic brakes, that's the other thing. So that's my customized bike. Let me know what your customized bike would be like and what you would choose. And we'll catch you on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, let your friends know about us, and thank you for supporting me. And we'll talk to you again on the next video. Until then, take care.